Flyaway Home, Chapter 7. All night I stayed in the bathroom. I made a bed with towels for myself in the tub and put some water in the sink for my goslings. I knew that Glenn would come back, and he might sneak in here in the dark, right into the house, but he couldn't get into the bathroom. The door was locked and the window was too small for anyone to climb in. Too bad if Dad or Susan needed the bathroom. There was another one upstairs. They were really upset. Dad sounded kind of mad at me. He kept talking to me through the door, promising me that he wouldn't let anybody hurt my goslings, that he hadn't known Glenn was going to do that. Maybe, but he should have known. And Glenn, how could they call him an animal protection person? He wasn't protecting them, he was hurting them, making them so they couldn't fly. Anyway, Dad was awfully upset. I heard him tell Susan that he wasn't any better a father now than he was when I was younger. I heard him threatening to take the door off the hinges. If he did that, I'd run away so far he'd never find me. And I'd take my goslings with me. I also heard something else, something that made me kind of sad for Susan. Maybe even helped me understand her a little. She and Dad had finally given up trying to make me come home out of the bathroom. And they went outside. They were sitting on the back steps talking, but it was just outside the bathroom window, so I could hear every word they said. That's when Dad said something about not being a good father, and Susan said, "Well, at least you're there, you're here." She told Dad that she'd never known her father, and that he left when she was just a little baby. That's the part that made me sad. It must be sad not to know your own father. But I couldn't help wondering if her father was weird as mine. That's the last thing I remember before falling asleep. Next thing I knew, it was early morning, and I could hear voices outside in the kitchen. Dad and some man. Not David, someone else. Someone talking about flying and stuff. I looked out all around me. Some of my goslings were in the tub with me, and some in the sink. I counted them, 13, 14, 15. One was missing. Igor. Where was Igor? I stood up, looked around. "Igor?" I said. Then I saw him. I snatched him up out of the toilet when he was happily swimming. "You silly thing," I said. Gently, I set him in the sink with the others, then decided to get my shower. I felt really sticky because of some of the goslings had pooped on me during the night. They really are such babies. I stepped into the tub, turned on the shower carefully. It's like a booby trap, really. Dad has an invention in there, some machine that squirts out some soap, then squirts out shampoo. At least most of the time it squirts stuff. Sometimes you can push and nothing happens. I turned on the water, pushed the soap button. It worked this time. I lathered myself up, then laughed out aloud, because all of my goslings came jumping into the shower with me, splashing around my feet. "Silly things," I said to them. "Do you like soap?" They seemed to, splashed and ruffled their wings, climbing up and over my feet, bumping each other out of the way. I reached for the shampoo button, pressed it, but nothing came out. I tried again and again. I couldn't use soap on my hair. Dad was just too weird. Why wouldn't we just have a bottle of shampoo in the shower like other people have? I tried one more time, pressed really hard with the flat of my hand. That's when it happened. It squirted out, a whole huge stream of it, like a fire hose, right in my face, right in my eyes, and I couldn't make it stop. I howled. I reached for a towel and washcloth, but couldn't find anything. Nothing. My eyes. I was really screaming then, but I couldn't move. I might step on my goslings. "Help!" I yelled. "Help me!" Suddenly Dad was outside yelling too. "Amy? Amy!" he yelled. "What's the matter? What is it?" He began banging on the bathroom door. "Amy! My God, Amy, what is it?" I couldn't stop screaming. My eyes! Then I heard Susan yelling my name, jiggling the door handle. "Open the door, Amy!" she yelled. "Open up!" "I can't!" I yelled back. That's when I heard the door splintering, cracking. In a minute the door came crashing in, and Dad and Susan came flying in behind it. I was standing there naked and sobbing and rubbing my eyes, and Susan grabbed a towel and wrapped me up in it. But I still couldn't stop screaming. Then I noticed somebody else. This strange guy, was in the bathroom staring at me. I was still screaming. "Oi, oi!" Dad said. "Get out!" I yelled at him. "The shampoo," Dad said. "The compressor must have exploded." Susan was holding me, wiping my face, cuddling me in a towel. Dad was looking sheepish. He turned into the strange guy. Both of them shrugged. Get out, I yelled. Get out. He did. They did. Susan slammed the door behind them. What was left of it? What was left of it? She turned to me then, wrapped me in more towels, wrapped one around my head and wiped my face. It's all right, she said. It's all right. It's not, I said. I began sobbing. I can't stand it. I can't. This house is full of contraptions. These stupid contraptions. He is so weird. I miss my mom. I miss my friends. And who was that guy in here? He's just a friend of your dad's, Susan answered. They fly together. It's all right. It's not all right. He was in here, I said. Right in here. It's okay. I don't think he actually saw you. He did, I yelled back. Susan just kept wiping my eyes, stroking my hair, and I kept right on crying. And that Glenn person, I said. Why did he bring him here? He was going to cut their wings off. Susan rocked me a little. Hush now, she said. Your dad didn't know. None of us knew. He'll come back and get them, I said. He said he would. Amy, Susan said. She held me tight. Now listen to me. Can you listen? I shook my head. No, I sobbed. Try, Susan said. Okay, can you try? I didn't answer, but I nodded. Okay now, Susan said. When I had quieted down, now listen to me. I can't ever replace your mom. No one can. I don't want to. But I can be your friend, if you let me. And the first rule of friends is they have to trust each other. Believe me, I won't let anything happen to your geese, and neither will your dad, and that's a promise. How can you promise that? I said. I can, she said. All right, I can, and I do, I promise. She kept holding me, kept rocking me, and I don't know why, but I let her. She kept right on rocking me, and holding me, and rocking me. After a while, it actually felt, well, it felt all right. That was chapter 7. ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है लता तरीक है. Oh, it's switched off.